Hey folks, this is Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge. Hopefully my head's not too big in the picture right now. Today we're going to take a look at this. This is by Tuya Knives. This is the SNS. It comes in two colors. This they're calling it a what do they call it? Something bronze. I forget the exact name. A dull bronze or something. Looks like a deep gray to me. And they also have it in a bluish green aqua kind of color. And they alternate the pocket clips on them. So this guy's got the colored pocket clip and back spacer, and then they do it the other way around for the bluish green version. They put on the grayish bronze color accessory or extra pieces. We've got a S35VN steel blade. So this is a nice, small, kind of a gentleman's micro knife, if you will, or a gentleman's mini knife might be a better word for it. And I am loving this thing. It is definitely not within my budget range that I normally review in. November is going to be an awesome month. I might have more than expected knives that are over $50 US. Most of them, if they're going to be over $50, they're going to be just a tiny bit over. But this guy, you can get them right now for $109 US. This had a limited run, the initial run of 100 knives. And I've got number 46 right here. And I've had this guy for several months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, actually almost half a year I've had this knife, and now I got to answer the phone. Reminder, another telephone call reminding me of another medical appointment. I forget exactly where I was on this knife, but maybe that's enough of an introduction. I'll cover everything about this knife, at least everything I can think of, when I do the full review, and you get to watch that in just a few seconds. It's coming at you right now. One of the first things I usually do in these videos is a size comparison. And this is the Sanrenmu 7010 that a lot of you guys are familiar with, since this is a budget channel. These are hard to find these days, but they are still available in a few places. This is like 10 or 11 US dollars or more, depending on where you shop. But that's what it was when it was on sale quite often. When I first started this channel 3.5 years ago, these were very, very easy to get. And I think I got like 12 or 13 of them. I'm looking for somebody who can do a laser etching into stainless steel for a very budget price. And I'm going to get my Canadian Cutting Edge logo and stuff put on some, and then I'm going to make those available to my Patreon supporters. So if you're a Patreon supporter, there you go. That's going to be one other benefit. The other thing is, this is the very first video for November. So in a few more days, you're going to see the video for who on the Patreon supporters of mine has, whose random number has come up to win one of the knives that I reviewed in October. So that's going to be exciting. But take a look at this. This is a smaller knife. And for a lot of people, this is too small. They don't want to carry something this small. I don't mind it. But this guy is, even smaller, and it's a whole lot nicer too. This guy costs about 10 times as much as this guy. And do I think it's worth it? Generally speaking, I don't like to spend an awful lot of money on knives, but sometimes you just got to treat yourself if you can. And this is a very, very nice knife from a limited run. So we've got a drop point with a false wedge. We've got a round belly and then a recurve here. S35VN stainless steel with a stone wash on it. We've got titanium frame lock. And it doesn't just have a brushed or bead blasted pattern. There's it's milled with lines in it. I don't know how well you can see it on this camera, but I've got some close-up shots that have more detail. You can just see waves going up and down. Oh yes, I did nick the side of my finger with this knife. Well, while I was doing my measurements and everything, I just wasn't being careful enough. That'll heal up pretty quick. I just didn't want to get blood on my knife into the internals, especially because that's just a lot more work to clean it up. So that's kind of cool. We've got chamfered edges everywhere, a good sized lanyard hole, and 2 screws to hold it together. We've got this titanium back spacer. And if you're like me, the jimping makes sense right there, but this other hole or half hole through there, I wonder why it's that shape that way. I wonder if it had a different design or something, and maybe had instead of a lanyard hole, it had an opening and then a pin through it, but that's too small for that. I just don't know. There's the pocket clip. It's very well made. It also has, if you look very carefully, thin little lines. So those same kind of wavy theme is even on the pocket clip there. 1 screw to hold it in, and it's got a hole that fits the back of the pocket clip perfectly, so it just needs 1 screw. It holds very, very well onto a pocket. In the lock bar arm, we've got a piece of stainless steel instead of using the titanium to meet up with the knife blade at the tang, because that holds better. Titanium is certainly softer than S35 VN steel, and so they put in lock bar inserts to make it last a whole lot longer. Lockup is perfect, exactly where I want a new knife to be. We've got ceramic ball bearings in here. Lockup solid, no blade play, up and down, side to side. Alignment is perfect. Stop pin is certainly big enough for this knife, and you got a little bit of jimping on the flipper tab to make it fly open when you flip it, like a light switch method. You can just push a little bit, and if you have to make sure you overcome the detent, and there it goes, just on a slight angle. You've got 5 little trenches across there. That's the jimping for your thumb rest. Very good. This knife can be held in a number of ways. You can do a lot of delicate work this way because it's got a nice sharp tip, very fine tip. You can do a saber grip or a fist grip. This thing's even, big enough to do a bit of a reverse grip, and it almost comes to the end of my hand there. If I keep, my pinky on this side, my hands are, fairly large, and, it's a comfortable knife. This knife is a great little user. If you are in a situation sometime where you just can't carry a big knife and you want something small like this, very, very nice knife for those kinds of purposes. Now, before we get too far on this review, you'll notice, of course, that it's a recurve there. So how are you going to sharpen or properly sharpen a small knife with a recurve like that? And I want to show you these. I'm going to do a review of these one day. This is a diamond stone by Venev and sold by Gritomatic.com. Not only does this work for little recurves, this works for big recurves as well, and for high-end steels. And so I'll have links for these down below, and the review will come out. I don't know when. I can't promise anything like that. I've been promising dates for videos to some people, and I just haven't been able to make it with, with my health conditions doing stupid things and whenever. Let me show you the little bit of video that I took of it taken apart. And as you can see right here, we've got ceramic ball bearings. There's a ceramic detent ball in here, lock bar insert, some skeletonizing to lose some weight, and it is pretty light. So here's a pocket, a denim pocket, and it just slides on there very well. Oh, I'm off screen there. And it holds on well enough. You heard that tiny little bit of a click. It's, well made and very discreet. It even fits into the little coin pocket easily enough. Let's see. Oh, it's fairly thick right there, the denim, but bottomed out, and it's not quite at the bottom of that pocket. So you got a number of options of where you want to wear this thing or carry this thing. Now, let's get this on the screen here and go over all of the measurements and those kind of specs for this. The weight, 40 grams, 1.4 ounces. That's good. The factory edge on this, 60 best. That's that might be the best cutting edge that I've measured on any knife that I've started measuring in the spring. I am very impressed. And of course, S35VN does hold an edge for a fair amount of time. The cutting edge length, 6.09 centimeters, that's 2.4 inches. Blade length, tiny bit more, 6.25 centimeters, 2.46 inches. The blade thickness is 3 millimeters, that's 0.118 of an inch. The blade depth, right here, right where that transition is, 1.55 centimeters, 0.61 of an inch. The thickness of the edge right behind the grind, right there where my thumbnail is, 0.46 millimeters, which is 0.018 of an inch. Very, very good. The grind angle. Now, I found that the grind angle for the belly part and the recurve part are different. So let's start on this side. This has got the Tuya symbol on it. The belly, 19.6 degrees of an angle. Here, 18.1 degrees. And then on this side, the belly, 19.7 degrees, 0.1 degree more. And here, 21.6 degrees. Very, very good. From hand sharpening on a wheel, holding it by hand and doing it on a grinding wheel, that's very, very good. The handle now, the handle length, 8.16 centimeters, 3.21 inches. The grip area, about 6.9 centimeters, 2.7 inches. The handle thickness, not counting the pocket clip, is 1.07 centimeters, that's 0.42 of an inch. The handle depth, right up here, 1.41 centimeters, that's 0.555 of an inch. And when the knife is closed, the handle depth here, or the depth of the knife, 1.71 centimeters, that's 0.673 of an inch, so quite small. And the total length of this knife, when the blade is deployed, is 14.45 centimeters, 5.69 inches. It's quite nice. The best place to buy this is, that I know of, especially for North America, is from the Tuya knife distributor for the United States, Dave Warren. His website, I think, is tuyaknife.com. No. Oh, why is my brain not remembering? It's on the screen exactly what the URL is. And I'll also give you a link down below for his website and directly to this knife. $109 is what he's charging, $109.00 US. And hey, that's a good price. The only other place I saw that has this in North America is a website called The Knife Joker, and they're selling it for $142.57. I don't have any prices for any other places. If you know of stores that are selling this in, the United Kingdom maybe, or Europe somewhere, please let me know, and I'll add those links down below in the comment section. Fit and finish of this knife is excellent. It's done very, very well. Like titanium, you do get mar lines on it, fairly, those kind of little lines on it if you rub it against other metals. And so I've been trying to be careful with it, but there's a few little lines already on this, and that's par for the course. You just can't get away from that unless you have your knife just as a sitting on a shelf. And I'm not that kind of guy. I do use my knives. I have some people tell me, oh, your knives never get used. They look brand new all the time. Well, no. I take very good care of my knives, and so that's why they look in good condition, but I do use them, and I carry them for real. And this kind of titanium just shows the marks a little bit easier than others. Like I said, it doesn't have a locking pivot pin, but you can see the nice clean pivot pin on this side. And then there's the slot for the standard. I don't know why they did that instead of a Torx. Maybe they just didn't have any Torx heads available for that size. But the rest of the screws are all T6s. Quite nice screw heads that are very precise, and so it works very well. I like that it's a limited edition. Well, it's not a limited. It's the first run. I don't know. I think they'll probably make more once they sell out of all the ones that they have. But I like having a numbered knife. That's a really nice touch. And for $109, hey, that's not bad to get a numbered knife. The lockup is great. Like I said, it's got super action. Jimping is just in the right spot and holds well. This thing slices very, very well, and not just for, tiny little things. I've done some bigger tasks with this already. Easy to operate, easy to open and close. Very, very comfortable. I'm not so sure I like the distinct spot right there between these two different grinds. I think I would like it just to be a smooth belly that goes from belly to recurve in one smooth line. The thickness of the blade doesn't really change that much. It's tapering down starting about here. And then you've got this one little spot here. It seems a little odd to me. And it's going to be next to impossible to maintain that spot, over time from sharpening it. So I think the first time I sharpen this, it's just going to smooth out. I think I'll intentionally just smooth it out. It's just the way it is. This knife will not be available for a Patreon supporter winner to win. It's just, this is one of my personal collection knives that I'm keeping. So if you have any questions about this, please leave them down in the comment section below. But since I'm having a tough time, I know it looks like I'm, totally good with my hand, as you can see me doing this. The reason I find it hard to type is when I'm seated in the position in front of the table, in front of the desk, typing, and just having my hand, in the position of typing for any period of time, my shoulder starts to lock up, my elbow starts to scream, and then the pain goes down my arm, from my elbow, it just goes down my arm into my wrist and hand, and it just starts burning. And so that's why I can do stuff like this, but I find it really hard to type. So I'm not responding to the comments down below, at least not most of them. But I do read them all. If you do want me to talk to you about something, you want to ask me a question, go ahead. Email me at canadiancuttingedge@gmail.com. And I like having those questions. I look forward to them. I like responding to your emails and things, even if it is going to cause me a little bit of physical pain. But there you go. So if you really need an answer, please do comment in my email and not just in the comment section below. What do you think of this knife? Thanks for watching my video. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. And remember, guys, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye for now.